Mr. Speaker, good morning. I rise to report on the current status of garbage collection. Since my last report on April 17th, there has been an ever-increasing acceptance of the new once-a-week garbage collection. So let me again thank the people of Bermuda who have generally transitioned smoothly to the change in schedule. Mr. Speaker, I am also pleased to report that the waste management staff are adequately coping with the new schedule, even with a limited number of available vehicles. With an average of 8 trucks in service daily, we are able to cope with current staffing levels, and as such, we will not be hiring additional staff at this time. We are still experiencing some challenges with truck maintenance, as the number of trucks in the fleet are still well below optimum. There is now a collaborative approach between the maintenance staff based at the quarry and the operational staff based at Marsh Folly. Mr. Speaker, you will recall that a team traveled to the UK in April to inspect and test the new trucks we were looking to purchase. 5 trucks have now been ordered and are expected to arrive on island in late November. I must caution, though, that even with the purchase of 5 new trucks, we will still not be at full complement of vehicles, as many of the trucks currently in the fleet have surpassed their life expectancy. Over the course of the once-a-week collection period, I can report that we have seen a leveling off in the amount of household waste collected when compared to last year's twice-a-week figures. You will readily see from the attached chart that virtually the same amount of household waste is being collected this year versus last. Concurrently, Mr. Speaker, we have seen a steady increase in those using the public drop-off since the extension of operating hours on Saturdays. I've asked the plant manager to explore with the operator the feasibility of further extending the hours to make it even more convenient to members of the public desirous of utilizing this facility. One of the significant benefits of this new scheduling is the reliability factor and consistent collection of waste on the day's schedule. Likewise, the overtime expenses for waste collection to date of $26,227.25 has almost exclusively been a result of collection following public holidays and is dramatically less than the $250,000 spent last year on overtime in this quarter alone. And of course, Mr. Speaker, we have not just saved money as a result of this new scheduling. There have been savings in fuel, wear and tear on vehicles, illness, and injuries. Not surprisingly, staff morale has improved as well. These workers, who take great pride in their work, are pleased that they can actually deliver on what has been promised. They have been actively engaged in assessing the progress over the period, with recommendations covering the entire operation, but most notably in the challenges with the pickup zones. As we approach the summer months, we increase the amount of garbage we produce, with a peak over the Cup Match weekend. Collection for those 2 days will occur on Saturday, August 4th. Since the coverage areas are reduced, we anticipate being able to comfortably manage collection on that day. Mr. Speaker, I will be announcing shortly the plan for the reintroduction of bulk waste pickup in some form to assist the community. It will most likely be on a request basis rather than scheduled, so that we can better manage funding for this unbudgeted expense. So, with that background and all the positive outcomes noted above, the reality is we cannot contemplate a return to twice-a-week collection anytime soon with the limited number of vehicles available. So once-a-week garbage collection will continue until at least year-end. Long before we reach that point, however, Mr. Speaker, we will have concluded all the background work and alternative options necessary to make a firm recommendation to Cabinet on the way forward, to be followed shortly thereafter with the public announcement. Immediately, though, there will be some minor adjustments to the collection schedule for some areas to minimize the need for overtime work in those zones. In short, they are: Monday collection, the easternmost boundary will move from Church Road to Waterlot on Middle Road to Sinky Bay on South Shore Road. Tuesday collection from Cobbs Hill to Chapel Road, S Hill to Southcote Road. Wednesday from Trimingham Hill to T Street, Thursday from T Street to Devil's Hill, and the Friday collection zones will remain the same. Mr. Speaker, those adjustments will become effective after the cut match holiday on Monday, August 6th. A map of the new boundaries will be published along with an extensive media campaign to advise of those changes. Additionally, in response to several requests from members of the public to further extend the opening hours of the public drop-off on Sundays, we have agreed an adjustment with the service provider. Those changes will also become effective on August 6th. Mr. Speaker, I wish to assure the members of this House and the public that we will continue to assess this situation, take the necessary steps to address any unforeseen challenges, and efficiently address the management of our waste going forward. All of us can help in that regard, however, Mr. Speaker, by reducing the amount of waste we generate, recycling and composting food waste. We are experiencing an increase in maggots in the waste. This is mainly due to a combination of food waste and the climate, which are the perfect conditions for them to flourish. Some members of the public have suggested lidded trash bins and freezing food waste until the day of collection. I know that our education officer would wish that I recommend to you, Mr. Speaker, and to members of this House and to the general public that you also consider composting, which is a painless way of helping the environment as well as successfully disposing of food waste without running the risk of attracting feral chickens, cats, or vermin to your trash. Of course, it is made considerably easier, Mr. Speaker, if you purchase a composting bin from any of the local hardware stores, or the best type can be purchased from the Ministry of Public Works, and I've taken the liberty of attaching a flyer to this statement in providing information where you can do so. May I also add that I have received several recommendations from members of the public, some of which were already considered, but several were not, and will be included in the discussions going forward. Mr. Speaker, let me end where I began, by thanking the public for adapting to this new collection schedule and those workers in waste management who do an outstanding job in collecting our waste under the most trying circumstances. I encourage members of the public to give a thought and even express thanks directly to those workers who so efficiently collect our garbage every week. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.